Hey, buds. Thank you for tuning into today's episode when you can literally be doing anything else.
If you guys are somehow liking the content that we're putting out for you guys weekly, please feel free to leave a like or a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcast.
And if you want to watch us, you can find us on YouTube at the Fantasy Buds Podcast. You can leave a like or comment, and you can subscribe to us.
And if you even for some reason decide you want to follow us on Instagram, we are at Fantasy Buds Podcast to keep up with all of our daily advice and shenanigans.
Thanks for listening, and hope you enjoy the show. Nick at 12.
See ya. What the fuck?
What just happened?
Wait, isn't that hooked to the fucking wall? How? Oh!
What?
One of Chris's panels just flew off the wall.
Welcome back, buds, to the Fantasy Buds Podcast. It's your host, Brian, Mark, and Tim. The fantasy season has finally ended, but before we get into that, we should send our thoughts and prayers out to Damar Hamlin.
Yep.
With some unfortunate events last night, where he went into cardiac arrest during the Bills and Bengals game. Yeah. It's a scary sight. Yep. I think he's still in critical condition. He's still in the hospital, but we don't really know too much about it, so we're not going to say too much about it because we don't want to say any wrong information about it. But yeah, it's very unfortunate. I'm hoping Damar Hamlin pulls through.
We really hope he's okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
I was watching that live at work, actually, at my real job last night, and that was really tough to watch.
It's 24 years old.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's our age. It could have, I mean, it's just...
And now he's probably never going to play football again.
It's really terrifying off of routine play, to be honest.
It puts a lot of stuff in perspective, though. Like, we joke around and everything, like, oh, a dude gets 0 points in fantasy. Oh, he sucks. Like, all this stuff. But it's like, I kind of feel like, even though we're joking and everything, we're all decent human beings. We all know to put that stuff to the side. Like, it's a human being's life.
Coaches, we don't feel bad for. They don't risk anything.
No, they don't risk anything. They're fine.
We can say whatever about coaches.
The players go out there and literally put their lives on the line with some of the stuff. Their well-being. I mean, Ryan Shazier, with what happened to him. Like, sometimes
Tua
it's...
and AB, all those incidents happen on the same field, actually, I saw.
And that's why it's just, really,
really
hope
weird.
He's okay. Hopefully he fully recovers and everything. Just a scary sight.
Yeah.
We're praying for Damar Hamlin, everybody.
Yeah.
We wanted to talk about that before we got into anything else today.
Yeah, so...
but on a brighter note... some of us are champions at this table.
I am. I'm now a dynasty in our league.
All jokes aside, good job, Brian.
Thank you.
Good job. You did it again, you sly motherfucker.
You got to put in the work if you want the results.
We need to add more teams. If anybody wants to join our fantasy football league, we're going to be accepting applications on the website.
We don't have a website.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
Chris?
Do we? No, we don't.
We absolutely do.
No,
I remember making it.
It's the Podbean website.
It's the Podbean website. It's not like an actual...
We don't have forms.
Maybe we'll have one.
Yeah, I was about to say, I didn't think we...
All right, we'll add them.
We can make that happen.
We're accepting applications for the fan. Somebody needs to take down Brian Gold.
Like, I sit here and I look at Justin Jefferson and it's just waste. It's just a waste of talent.
Waste of talent.
You should have made the playoffs in our league.
It just wasn't my year. Shit happens. It's fine.
Yeah, it was mine.
Even if I made the playoffs, it wasn't like one of the... good one. Even if I made the playoffs, I really wouldn't have done anything because it was like every week.
I was the highest scorer.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying. Like, it wouldn't have mattered. It was just one of those... It wasn't my year.
And the funny part is, I never scored that much until I got to the playoffs this season. Like, I scored 150 before, but then it was just like 160, and then 147, and then 165, and it's like, well...
It's the classic, you got hot at the right time.
Yep. Like, literally, round one on.
But to be fair, with the whole thing going off of you where you said I should have made playoffs, I really shouldn't have. Like, my team, besides Justin Jefferson, was mediocre at best.
You
Justin Jefferson, like if I had the same situation you ran into where you lost Cooper Kupp, I also wouldn't have won a single game. Like if I lost Jefferson, I would have gone 0-14.
But that's just what happens when you lose the best player in fantasy. Like this year, Justin Jefferson this year was basically Cooper Kupp last year.
Yeah, and even teams that lost Cooper Kupp this year, he was
Cooper
as
Kupp,
good as advertised.
Cooper Kupp was about to be the same player too.
Yeah,
so
and then he got hurt in week 10, and that was it. That was the last we saw of him.
it's clear him and Jefferson are the two best. No debate, in my opinion.
I would draft them like 1 and 2
Every year.
I think it's
every
gotta
year
be now.
until they're retired.
I agree with you. You were right from the beginning with the no running back. And maybe McCaffrey, maybe.
I think you do need
because
McCaffrey.
he's still McCaffrey.
Yeah.
But
I think you need solid running backs,
Yeah.
but I think it's easier. It's something I always bring up that you said is that receivers, it's easier for them to have repeat success. I really do agree with that.
that's why I think maybe like 1 and 2, maybe even 3, depending on how you view Diggs or not. But like 1, 2, 3, those 3.
Diggs
then
kinda
maybe McCaffrey and Henry, maybe?
Yeah.
At like 4 or 5 around that area? But Jefferson and Kupp, easily
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Like,
in every draft it should be next year. I'm sorry. There's no way.
I'm taking
Moving
Jefferson
forward,
with the
yeah.
first pick.
There's no blanking.
If I get it. Yeah, I'm not even thinking about it.
And on top of that, I'm taking Stephon Diggs with the 3rd pick. Like
That's what I'm
you know,
saying. Like for me, I think you got to go with one of the top 3 wide receivers. Some people probably even argue Jamar Chase at 4 instead of but I don't think I could take him over McCaffrey.
From what I've seen over the years now, it's just the upper echelon receivers, they hit more often than not. And in the first round, you see all these running backs, and there's a reason why a bunch of teams sink, because they take certain guys in the first round that don't really pan out to be
It's just here's the
top scorers.
A random stat that for some reason I just know because I remember who I've drafted throughout the years. Every year that I've drafted a running back with my first pick, I've missed playoffs. Every year that I've drafted a wide receiver besides this year, I made playoffs.
Well, then you should just never take a running back ever again.
That's what I'm
Take
saying.
tight ends now.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing. Just take tight ends. Maybe that'll be championships.
So, in the TJ Elentrio Memorial League, RIP buddy, the final standings this year, Brian finished first place yet again for the 86th time.
3rd time in 5 years.
He finished he defeated Dave.
Calm down there, Belichick.
Dave made his championship debut.
I gotta talk my shit.
Dave, if you're listening, congratulations. It was a good run. You had a pretty good team this
This
year.
is just one of those good old-fashioned team just runs into the juggernaut.
Brian got really hot at the right time. He scored 165 in the championship. You're not going to lose very often scoring 165
No shot.
in fantasy. So he finished first. Brian did. Dave finished second. Big B.
Oh, man, buddy.
12 and 2.
Always happens.
The
The
choke.
first seed.
The choke job in the playoffs. Sorry, Big B. I actually thought Big B was going to do it.
I really thought
really
it was.
thought he was
too.
going to,
I was
too.
like, I'm about to run into a buzzsaw, but it turns out I'm the buzzsaw.
I mean, Big B's team was pretty insane. He had Josh Allen, Eckler, Tyreek Hill, Kelsey, Amari Cooper.
Great team. He just didn't get it done. I mean, he scored 135. Like, it's not like he completely dudded in the playoffs. He just,
If TJ Hawkinson has a regular game, he wins.
yeah.
Big B.
I
But he
don't get
decided to have 100 instead.
My players play hard for me. What can I say?
So Big B finished third.
Joe.
Joe finished fourth. Brandon finished fifth. My injury-ridden corpse graveyard squad finished sixth.
No, you're finishing 5th.
Oh, how?
Because you just
'cause
won.
Yeah. So I'm going to finish fifth, actually. Brandon is sixth. Sorry, buddy. Brandon's sixth.
You finally won.
I
after all.
finally won to clinch fifth place. Damn, Tiny is all the way up to seventh.
He was dead. He was 0-7. at
dead
one point.
last. Tiny made her little run at the end of the
Hey,
year.
you got to give him credit. He was 0-7.
Yeah.
Finished 4 and 10, and then won the losers bracket. So that's
Single-handedly knocked me out of playoffs. Or
So-
kept me from getting into playoffs.
there you
He
go.
defeated Justin Jefferson, which is Tim's team, by the way. It's just called Justin Jefferson.
That's all it
just
is.
He-
That's all it is.
Tiny defeated Justin Jefferson.
Tim finishes 8th.
So Tim is eighth, and then
Mason at 9th.
poor Christian finished
All right,
last.
we'll cut him some slack, though. He was heavily under the influence when we were drafting. He was on vacation, so.
I'll give Christian a break, but you better bring it next year, buddy.
Ooh.
We're
Yeah.
not fucking around anymore.
Well, somebody's got to try and take me down.
Yeah.
As a newsflash, I'm going to go try and go back to back a second time.
You know what I just realized?
Well, I'm not letting it happen.
Not trying to jump leagues. Why is it that every wide receiver I go against has a fucking career day against me? Mike Evans had 60 against me.
It seems like it just happens.
I just noticed. Like, what is up with this?
After not doing day.
He did nothing all year, and then he just dropped 60.
That's fantasy.
That's
man.
the best game he's ever had in
That's
his life, I'm
fantasy.
pretty sure. So
Josh Jacobs dropped 60 against me. Mike Evans dropped 60.
we'll move on to the free agency league, which is
Yeah.
this league we've been doing with a bunch of guys we've known since high school. This is our the 10th year doing it?
This is the 10th
The
season.
10th
yes.
season, 10th anniversary year. And what a better year to make the championship for me
And the choke in it. Also.
and to choke.
Oh my God.
So I lost in the final to
Wow.
Joe, who I just knew it right away. As soon as Derrick Henry and Tony Pollard were out, I was not happy about that because the player Joe put into the lineup in Derrick Henry's place, my arch nemesis, Jamal Williams. Fuck Jamal Williams. I
He fucking
hate
crushed you.
Jamal Williams. I'm sorry. Fuck you, buddy.
And then Amari Cooper with like 3 catches.
3
but
catches for like 100 yards.
2
And
touchdowns.
like, get the fuck out of here, Joe. I hate you right now. You're great, and I love you, but I hate you.
Gets a pick 6 from Jacksonville
yeah, like, get
defense.
the fuck out of Trevor Lawrence didn't do anything. My
Darren Waller,
quarterback.
best game all year.
Yeah, per usual. Like what a player to crush me in the championship. Like, who else would it be than fucking Jamal Williams? Like, it wouldn't be anybody else.
Ugh.
I'd set the stage right away.
You know what's funny?
Congratulations, Joe, but fuck you. Justin Jefferson didn't do dick this week.
Even if I would have beat you last week, wouldn't have mattered. We scored the same fucking amount of points.
I
to
mean,
the T. Like the exact same score.
we both had
69.
69.
We both had 69
Like,
points
I mean,
on the dot.
my
Guys are
team was
pathetic.
actually solid in free agency this year, and I just all to drop 69 points in the championship. Like, fuck.
So,
That
wow.
sucks.
Yeah.
Well,
You just choked.
choke job, historic choke job.
So, Mark finishes second. Joe is the champion.
Congratulations, Joe.
Welcome to the winner's circle.
I'm mad at you for now, but congratulations.
Luca finishes third.
Yep.
Tim
I finished
fourth.
fourth.
I finish. Cam finishes fifth, and I finish sixth, and then Max finishes seventh. So,
Look, for drafting with the 14th overall pick in a 14-man league,
Who
I'll take finishing fourth.
yeah.
who finished last?
Blaze, right? Or was it
Oh,
Nick? Of
so Dean finished it. He won the losers bracket. Good, congrats.
course he
Dean.
did. Of course he did.
So he
Dean
finishes
won
eighth.
something.
of course
yeah.
he did.
Fabio 9th, Big B 10th. He started 5-1 and then lost out.
He
And,
didn't win a single game for the rest of the year.
Blaze finishes 11th. Nick at 12th. Yeah,
See ya. What the fuck?
what just happened?
Wait, isn't that hooked to the fucking wall? How?
No, but it's leaning on it.
Oh!
No,
What?
No, but even dude, they're all leaning against the wall. That shit just like flew off the wall.
One of Chris's panels just flew off the wall.
Nobody saw that. Oh my god, dude, that was kind of scary.
What a farewell episode.
What?
Kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie.
Poltergeist.
Dude, something just
Dude,
flew.
There's no fucking way if it's like that, it should go flying.
It's been like that for 2 days.
There's
I mean, like, that looks
It
like
just
that.
flew.
That looks like it's pretty easy to like knock over. Like it looks like it would fall over pretty easily
Wow.
from here.
No, man, no, there's no.
nah. Fuck
I mean,
that,
like,
dude.
I guess the room's haunted.
Fuck
then.
that, bro.
It was haunted.
Damn.
Haunted, cursed video.
Well,
Well, if
that
you-
was something.
yeah.
You should watch the YouTube video if you're listening for that moment. So I guess we should continue with our podcast, right?
I think so.
I think so.
Tom finished last.
Tom
Fuck you,
finished
Tom.
last.
Good.
Good.
You've had enough success, Tom. Thanks for CD Lamb.
Yeah, who led to your choke job eventually.
Yeah. He's the only... Ironically, it's a Cowboys player the only player who showed up for me
It's funny, actually.
in the championship. We love CD Lamb on
We
here.
love CeeDee Lamb.
We're going to talk about
Playoff
him
hero.
later.
We love
He's
hero, absolutely.
the man. And in Dynasty,
Oh, God.
I
Mark.
won something.
Mark finally did it.
Woohoo!
He was
Yes.
the choker in this league, and then he
Oh, my
finally got it done.
God, I was the perennial choker. I was
One
like,
seed every year.
that was like your jerseys, him. Just
Yeah,
choke job,
choke job,
Tim-
choke job, choke
Tim's
job.
wearing a Washington Capitals jersey.
Choke job.
Choke job, choke job, choke job.
Just choke finishes the 1-2 seed every year and just in the championship.
Well,
Well,
now
and
you're-
Luka won the tank bowl.
He did.
He has
Oh.
the best. He has the best shot at the first pick.
That's insane.
Look-
No, wait.
Luka's doing it on purpose. Too.
No. Nick does.
Oh, Nick does.
If you win in the tank bowl, you have the best chance. It's like a lottery from
Oh.
the top four.
well, Nick's tanking too,
Yeah.
so he is.
It's going to be probably Luca.
Nick
It's probably going to be Luka, Nick, me, then Big B.
That's
I'm
probably-
sorry. Luka, Nick, Mark.
You fucking ass. Won the championship. Stunk. Gave his pick to him. Ugh. Damn it.
Oh God.
So-
Hey, to be fair, Brendan Ayuk worked out.
He did
He
actually.
did.
I actually kind of miss him, but one of my players on my dynasty team, Christian McCaffrey, ended up being saved and traded to the 49ers.
Oh my
So
god.
I'm like pretty happy about that because I was honestly thinking about trading him
We're fine, man.
in the offseason, like leading into this year.
Whatever.
We're gonna be fine.
And-
dude. My team's got a future. We're chilling. I got a lot of draft picks coming up. I still got a first rounder this year. We're good.
Look, to be honest, I'm just glad I finally have something to show for it in this league. My team has been pretty damn good. I really thought that I've had a good chance to win every year we've played Dynasty, and I could just never get it done.
So you got
and-
it done a half decade in.
A half decade, and it just feels good to have finally done it. The monkey is off my back. The weight is off my shoulders. This team, I feel like I did a good job as a GM. So
You really did.
I'm glad I finally have some hardware to show for it.
Well, there you go. So
I beat Cam in the championship. Fuck you, Cam.
Cam slash it's two managers
slash Gabe.
slash Gabe.
Slash game.
Sorry to bring you into this, Gabe.
But
Fuck you,
fuck
Cam.
Cam though. I didn't want Cam on a championship team.
No, Austin Eckler. They tried too. Like
They tried.
Austin Eckler had fucking 32 for him. DeAndre Swift, who fucked me really hard in my other league, just decided to have his best game since week one. It's typical. Of course,
Typical.
against me. You can't script it any better. AJ Brown, 70-yard touchdown. Or
And then
but
well, you got 31 from Christian McCaffrey and 37 from Tom Brady.
Tom Brady flashback to New England. Tom
34
Brady.
from Devontae Adams, 21 from CeeDee Lamb.
Can't get away from the motherfucker.
I mean, you had a star-studded lineup, so you earn. I'm glad you won because in back-to-back years, I've now lost to the champion.
That does make you feel better. I feel like when you lose to the best team.
So I'm getting close. Maybe next year's my year.
Yeah, I mean,
I had the injury bug this year. Like my team is really deep, but so it didn't feel like it was sinking from the injuries. But I had 7 guys on IR.
yeah. I mean,
6
like
guys
your
on
team
IR.
is pretty damn good too. I honestly think it is just as good as my dynasty team.
Well, with Cooper Kupp in the lineup
Yeah, because you have Cooper Kupp, St. Brown, and
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill.
and T. Higgins and
So,
Keenan Allen
Yeah, like
and Justin Herbert and fucking Tony Pollard and Dalvin Cook and Miles Sanders.
I think that's better than CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, and Jamar Chase. And now look, they're incredible, phenomenal, but like, would you rather have Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, or Devontae Adams, or Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, and Amon-Ra St. Brown? I think I'd rather have Cooper Kupp, St. Brown and
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill.
That is tough, though.
It's hard.
It's
but
really
I think,
tough.
I agree with you. I think I
But-
would rather have.
I'm not giving it to them by a lot, but maybe look for dynasty purposes, I'd rather have CeeDee Lamb and Chase because they're younger.
Yeah, they're more
Yeah.
younger superstars, whereas my guys are probably they're veterans.
But if you're trying to win right now, yeah, I'd rather have those three guys. But you got hit pretty hard by the injury bug for sure.
But so I'm gonna finish fucking. What is that? It doesn't matter because I don't have my first round pick because I was trying to win this year. So I'm gonna finish fourth. Dean will finish third, and then Fabio finishes sixth, and Tom fifth. So
No Tom and Dean this year.
no Tom and Dean this year,
Sorry, guys.
but it also wasn't me, so it doesn't feel as good. But
Doesn't matter.
I'm selfish in fantasy. I want to win every
You
single
should.
one.
You should be selfish in fantasy. Your team will win eventually in Dynasty.
I hope.
I really think you will. Unless you get
Well, if Javonte Williams comes back and they get a competent coach that feeds them the ball, then I could probably I will contend next year.
I still believe in Javonte Williams.
I still believe too.
We could talk about him at the end, kind of.
Yeah.
But
Well, he got hurt, so like
yeah.
it's kind of hard to measure whether anybody was right or wrong. Injuries kind of they take it.
It's a
Take
shame.
away from that.
There's a couple guys that
I kind of feel like we were right though. I
What?
mean, when he played, you saw it.
Well, we know he's
Just
good.
It was
Yeah.
just-
Nathaniel Hackett.
it was Nathaniel Hackett.
who's
Yeah.
gone.
Thank God.
So why don't we talk about some players we were right about and wrong about this year?
Oh.
So some guys who I'll just start with CeeDee Lamb because Brian and I definitely we have loved him for the past 2 seasons now. I loved him so much going into last year when Amari Cooper was still on the team. Unfortunately, it didn't
Mhm.
really work out as great just because there were so many mouths to feed. But people questioned at the beginning of the year if CeeDee Lamb could be an alpha wide receiver, and he showed that he can fucking do it. He has been amazing. He probably
He's really
won,
turned on.
He probably won a lot of people championships.
He won me a championship for sure.
He helped win me one in Dynasty. Like, I'm so happy to have him in Dynasty. Like, drafting is so important. Like, he was my first round pick
It is
a couple years back.
because
And
when you miss on guys, man, it's hard to come back from that, especially early in the early rounds of your drafts.
you have to build through the drafts. Like I mean, like Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb, I drafted. Like you have to take shots on some guy, and it's like receivers now. They get to passing league. Like
Yeah.
receivers are so valuable now, and I think they're way more valuable than they used to be considered.
Yeah.
But CeeDee Lamb has been incredible. He probably won a lot of people championships. Only player on the Cowboys that I like. We love him here.
We do love him here. So I would say, so I had him in the top 10 before the season, and he finished higher than where I had him ranked initially.
He was my 6th receiver. I
And he-
remember making my list. Or he was my 5th or 6th, but he actually finished as the wide receiver 6.
He was my 7th, and he finished at 6. I was completely wrong about Tyreek Hill.
Oh my god, we were
I had him
all
outside
so
the top
wrong.
10 because I just didn't feel.
I had him at 14.
I had him at 11, but I just felt like he wouldn't do well with Tua. When you go from Pat Mahomes to Tua,
Yeah.
it's obviously a big drop off. But no, I should have factored in this is the fastest player in the league. All he needs is one pass, and it's 60 yards to the house,
Yep.
70 yards to the house, whatever. He's the fastest guy in the league. He can score at any moment in the game. And they paid him. They traded for him, so they gave him his targets. They gave him his catches and yards. And he finishes as the wide receiver too. So I was wrong about him.
We all were. We all faded Tyreek Hill so hard in the offseason.
Just because of the quarterback.
We actually like made fun of Big B for drafting him. And like that's just how it
And he
works.
went 12-2 with them.
He went 12-2 with them, and the wide
Didn't
receiver
win.
too. Tyreek Hill arguably had his best year.
Yeah, with Tua.
And that's wild.
But he's the alpha on that team.
He is.
That's the thing. It's the same thing with Devontae Adams. Like we factored in the quarterback a little too much.
Yeah.
When the receiver's good, like all they need are a couple of passes and they can do wonders with it. Like look at Devontae Adams. He could catch 3 passes and get you get you 124 yards and 2 touchdowns like he did against Kansas City there. 41 points. He had 3 catches. Like, only a few players can do that.
Devontae Adams, I'm pretty sure I had him as it was like 4th or 5th I had him, but he did finish as the wide receiver 3.
I had him at 6, and he finished at 3.
I had him at 7.
So, I mean, he still finished top 10. We just didn't think he'd be. I mean, he was the same player this year. Like, there was no difference.
He did have some dud games, but
He did.
all those dud games, he had a lot of targets too, and he just didn't. It was just usually it was. I'm sorry, guys. It's just the quarterback situation. Like, it's just inconsistent. And like that's gonna affect Devontae Adams a little bit. But
we faded him a little too hard, and he did
hard.
win you more. He probably won you more weeks than not, and that's more important than fantasy.
Yes.
Like
We
you
were
want
too
at least
good.
the chance to win all the time. Like I'm like when I had Michael Pittman very high and drafted him in the 3rd round, and it was hopeful in the beginning, and then he was just mid, just
Very
complete,
mid.
very mid. There was nothing special about him at all. I just whiffed on that one. That was
another guy we all were just horrifically so wrong, like couldn't even be wronger. Another Raider, Josh Jacobs. Like this guy was left for dead.
He was about to
basically.
get cut.
Like
dude.
he was about to be cut. He was playing in the Hall of Fame game. Like nobody wanted anything to do with Josh Jacobs, and it looked like from the Raiders' body language, they wanted nothing to do with him either. So he responded by finishing as the running back 3 this year. Had a 50-point game against the Seahawks.
Brought a lot of teams to the playoffs, even though he was a playoff dud.
Kinda, yeah.
He was a treat this year because people got him for free, and you got the 3rd best running back in the entire fucking league.
You probably got him in like the 6th, 7th round, more than likely.
Some people might have cut him or traded him for nothing after the first few weeks too.
Yeah. I mean, like, he was basically left for dead at the beginning of the year, and he was a pleasant surprise this year. If you had strong receivers paired with Josh Jacobs, you probably had a really damn good team this year.
I'd agree. And Austin Eckler, he finishes as the RB1.
Shocker.
I mean, I thought he would have regression, like just in terms of touchdowns, just because he had 20. I was thinking like a lot of his production last year came off touchdowns, but honestly, sometimes that argument is very stupid because there's players in the league, they just score touchdowns. Like that is what they do. They know how to score.
Yeah.
That's Austin Eckler. He had 20 last year and he has 19 this year.
Yeah, Eckler is crazy efficient.
Just crazy efficiency. It's the same thing with McCaffrey. Like he's just going to get his. He's going to get like 8 catches and give you 60 yards on top of 80 to 100 yards rushing and then maybe a score or 2.
Yeah.
Like
McCaffrey's going to the 49ers is the best thing that ever happened to McCaffrey.
seriously, he revived his career there.
I really don't
Yeah.
understand how people thought that was going to kill him. I really don't.
Probably because of Shanahan. Well, I mean, for a little bit there, they were splitting carries with fucking Elijah Mitchell.
As much
So-
as we shit on Kyle Shanahan for fantasy, he is a good coach. He's just annoying to have. It's annoying to have players on his teams because sometimes, like, it's like you were just saying.
Like, why is Mitchell splitting
Yeah.
carries with McCaffrey? But we think in terms of fantasy and Madden, like,
Kyle Shanahan's trying to win the game.
yeah, like, and there's certain things you have to do. There's different usages, and you got to give guys rest or whatever the fuck it is.
They definitely
And
want to
if-
preserve McCaffrey.
If they probably had him for the entire season, he probably would have hit the 400 mark because he didn't miss it by that much.
No, he probably would
He
have.
missed the 400 mark by like less than 70 points.
Look, he was everything I hoped he'd be this year.
Mhm.
He had a fully healthy season, even though every week
he was questionable.
he was
it seems like.
questionable. It seemed like,
It happens.
and like my butt cheeks were always clenched, but he ended up playing and he would produce, and there was never a doubt he helped me win a fucking championship. So I'm pleased with Christian McCaffrey this year. I was correct, but another guy, I mean, Derrick Henry, he was in the top 5.
He was just himself.
He was just
Sky's
himself.
blue.
Yeah,
This year, yeah.
I mean, there's nothing to really like. It's not rocket science. Like Derrick Henry's out there, but Saquon Barkley though,
We all really like Saquon Barkley.
I wasn't so sure.
You were the biggest advocate.
You were the
everybody.
biggest.
I liked him, but I didn't like him as much as you liked him.
I originally had him ranked like 12th, but if we made a new list like right when we started the year, I probably would have had him way higher, to be honest, ahead of guys like, I don't know, DeAndre Swift. But Barkley finishes the running back 5 this year. He only missed he didn't miss any games.
I'm just looking back at this list and where I had people ranked. And
he didn't miss
golly.
any.
He played every single game this year.
Oh
Barkley.
my!
And he was known for being injury prone. He got a heavy fucking workload too. There were games where he had 35 carries, over 30 touches. There were several games this year where the Giants just totally leaned on him, and they should. He's their best player. But he stayed healthy all year. It's very encouraging. He's another guy who honestly revived his career this year.
They're talking about giving him a big deal in New York.
Yeah, I think this was pretty make or break for him. I think if he had another injury-plagued year, he's a cut candidate at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because of how great he is.
He was probably playing through some injuries at some point, too. And
probably.
He wasn't even really saying anything.
There was one game where he was questionable a couple times this year. And he did have some dud games, but Daniel Jones is a little inconsistent, and he is on the Giants, where their offensive line actually got a lot better.
But they're not a high-scoring team.
No, like you can't depend on them to have a million scoring opportunities a game.
But you can depend on Barkley getting his yardage.
Yeah, or at least his workload. Like he's gonna get at least 20 touches a game,
and he gets targets.
Yeah,
he gets targets.
Brian Dable knows what he's doing.
He does. So hopefully they don't. I'd rather them keep Daniel Jones because I don't really believe in him. I don't want the Giants to be good.
I do still really love Saquon Barkley. I think he's a fringe first round player going forward in fantasy drafts, at least until he falls off or gets hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really happy for him. Penn State player. I really like Saquon Barkley. I'm glad he did well this year. Finish it as the running back 5.
Yeah.
Finished top 5 again.
He did. And yeah, you were completely right about him. You were the biggest advocate.
Go to somebody you were the biggest advocate about, T. Higgins.
T. Higgins? Yeah. See, with T. Higgins, everybody just thought Jamar Chase was going to take everything away from him, but I kept saying that I felt that Jamar Chase has a better chance at giving you the big plays and the big splash plays, but T. Higgins is right there in terms of production and the type of receiver. Jamar Chase is 1A, but I think T. Higgins is 1B.
T. Higgins actually had a lot of big plays this year.
He finishes as the 12th receiver. That's actually ahead of Chase, who finished 13th.
Yeah.
But Chase missed some games, however.
T. Higgins was a playoff hero, though.
He was a playoff hero.
He almost made our list, but we thought he was a little too good.
He was too consistent.
I guess
he kind of did it all year long.
But he was really, really great during the fantasy playoffs. I had a scare against him in one of my playoff games, but yeah, he was really great this year. And you were all over him. You believed in him a lot more than I did, for sure.
Because it just wasn't so cut dry. It wasn't black and white between him and Jamar Chase. People were so in love with Jamar Chase that they were disregarding T. Higgins completely, and I just thought it was kind of ridiculous. Because little background, T. Higgins is my fucking baby. I drafted him in Dynasty, and I've watched him grow.
His draft pick, you love him.
I love him, and he's just a stud. I nicknamed him Baby AJ Green because that's kind of how I saw him. And I think he's just as good of a receiver as Jamar Chase.
I mean, he definitely showed it.
And he showed it.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see for a long time. I mean, look at the Colts when they had Peyton Manning. They had Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison. This is a passing league. There can be 2 number 1 receivers on a team, like Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. You can have 2 receivers, or you can take a second receiver or a 1B guy and still get the same production as the one guy.
Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
Look at that.
To be honest.
Mike Williams, when he was healthy, he was great. That's the thing.
Mike Williams was actually very, very good this year. Losing him was a big blow to my team in one of our leagues. Usually Mike Williams is kind of known for the boomer busting, but he boomed more than he busted this year.
And he was a little bit more consistent this year. Like, I saw, like, there was only 3 or 4 times he had single-digit points.
And the one game
And he
he
missed
left
games.
early, he got hurt
Yeah.
in the Kansas City game.
He missed about 4 games. Yeah, just 4 games. But outside of those 4 games and those dud games, he's been better most weeks than not. Like, I think if you had Mike Williams, you were happy with him most of the time. If you were able to survive the middle of the season, Mike Williams, when he was not giving you much and was hurt, he kind of came through. He came through for you at the end of the year in the playoffs, and hopefully gave you some fantasy luck this year. But I had him in one league, and I was pretty pleased with him.
I was
And-
happy with him for sure.
Yeah. And Garrett Wilson,
I
He
was
was-
so wrong.
I
hated him. I hated Garrett Wilson. I wanted nothing to do with him.
he
I
gave
was
a
all,
rookie production, though.
He did, but I was all over his teammate, Elijah Moore. The wrongest opinion I've ever had on here. Out of every bad opinion I've ever had, this one was clearly the worst.
Yeah, Garrett
My-
Wilson ended up being the
My
better.
fantasy MVP, Elijah Moore, I thought I'd seen enough from him. Terrible. Like, not even a factor in the
Yeah.
like, horrible. And Garrett Wilson, I'm going to be all over Garrett Wilson next year. That's going to be the other way around. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
Yep.
totally. Well, depends on,
the quarterback.
and I'm not talking, like, they need somebody, and it can't be Zach Wilson, and it can't be Chris Strevler, whatever the fuck his name was. I don't even know.
I
But-
do like Mike White, though. But like,
I don't
is
know.
Mike White really the answer?
Is he? I mean, I think they could probably get it done over a season. I feel like his upside would be capped. Like, I wouldn't go too high on Garrett Wilson.
I do. The talent is there, though.
The talent is
for
there.
sure. If you have him in Dynasty, he's a gold mine.
He's one of those
Oh,
guys
yeah.
where it's like the hype, as the season gets closer, the hype is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger.
He might get
and he's gonna-
overdrafted. Do you
Yeah,
think?
he's going to sneak into like the 3rd or 2nd round, and people are just going to fucking be like, why isn't he Antonio Brown? Like, it's like probably because he has Chris Strevler at fucking quarterback or something.
Another Jets player that we were pretty wrong about, but unfortunately I was wrong about at least, that unfortunately went down with an injury. Brees Hall
Oh man,
was pretty fucking incredible, actually.
He was.
And
I was so wrong. I thought he was going to be like one of the busts of the year.
So did I. I thought you were going to draft him, and it was just, look, he's on the Jets,
Splitting carries.
like splitting carries
he doesn't even have the workhorse role yet.
with Zach
and,
Wilson as quarterback.
And it's like,
Not like he was a first round pick or anything. But you just watch Brees Hall, and he's one of those guys. I'm gonna say it. He just looks good.
looks
Yeah.
good.
Out there.
Where's number 20?
Yeah.
And he's just, I had him in one league, and once he went down, my season pretty much went down the drain also. Like, because I had Jamar Chase and Cooper Kupp and Mike Williams, and I lost all 3 of those guys along with Brees Hall, and Derrick Henry couldn't save the day.
That's
so
tough to recover from.
It's tough.
Losing all
It's-
those
yeah.
guys.
So, yeah, I was wrong about Brees Hall. I was also wrong. Nico Collins, he was like one of my sleepers of the year.
Terrible.
Terrible.
Not even like a factor.
Not even like involved at all.
Chris
Like,
Moore got involved.
Chris Moore got him. He carried me to the playoffs actually
Yeah.
because I played him that last week and he fucking went off.
Like
Nico Collins did dick. So
Dick
that was
all year.
just a whiff.
Amari Cooper, I wanted absolutely nothing to do with. Of course, amazing.
Of course, he was amazing.
Wide receiver 10 this year. Did have some bust games, had a little rough stretch, but for most of the year he was really, really good. You probably got him in the later rounds of your draft. You probably got him as a little bit of a steal this year, and he definitely paid off for you.
And
I hated him.
I do want to say a guy I was completely 120,000% right on is Mr. Jalen Hurts, the savior of Philadelphia. Up until he got hurt, he was the quarterback one. So he's
And
quarterback 3 now because he's missed 2 games.
you
But
did say that. You said you think he could finish as the QB1, and I didn't know about that. I agree with the top 5, Dave. I didn't know about one, but he was for a while.
People forget that in 21, through 9 weeks, he was the QB1, and then he hurt his ankle, and then he fell off at the end of there. Then I thought he was healthier, has the best offensive line, second year in the system, and they added A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith is in his second year, and they got all these weapons. And I was like, he's either going to fucking bust or he's going to...
There's no in between.
Yeah.
He's either going to snap or he's going to suck. That's it.
He's either going to repeat what he did the year prior, but only do it better, or he was just going to be mid and suck.
He snapped for sure.
He snapped the fuck off, and I was so happy because we're Philadelphia fans. So when he's doing well in fantasy, that means the Eagles are also doing well.
Yep.
And it shows now he's hurt, and they're losing games now.
They're 0-2 without him. He is the backbone of the Eagles for sure. He's honestly going to be a fringe first-round pick in fantasy football.
I would debate him in the second round.
In my dad's league, we're passing TDs worth 6. I'll probably take him the first round next year.
I think it's going to be him, Mahomes, and Josh Allen are going to be the quarterbacks who fly off early because they were the QB 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
Those 3 guys this year. And I don't think that's going to change, barring injury.
Like, we're right about that. That's barring injury, I don't think.
I don't think there's any world where those guys don't finish 1, 2, and 3 for the next 5 years, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, seriously.
Barring injuries.
Joe Burrow, I was wrong on him. I didn't think he'd be
as good as he is. I'm not going to lie.
No.
I thought he'd be good.
He's Joe Shiesty. He's an animal.
Like, in terms of fantasy, I thought he would just be like
fucking animal,
quarterback
dude.
12 to 10, but he's the quarterback 4, and he's Joe Shiesty. Yeah.
But, like, think about it. What were we thinking? A guy who has an offense of Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Joe Mixon.
We were thinking Super Bowl hangover, plus the O-line is
questionable.
And he was only hot at the end of the year.
And he was hot at the end of the year. And he started off the year slow.
We overthink it.
And that's why we were like, he's not going to do anything. And then I guess week 4 came along, and he was like, I should probably play football, and just started snapping.
Joe Burrow was taken. Joe, in our league, got Joe Burrow in like the 9th round, I'm pretty sure. And he was the quarterback 4.
I got him in the 14-man league, like round 6 or 7, I think.
And like Joe Burrow has completely established himself. There's no question. He's one of the elite quarterbacks.
He's a top 5 quarterback.
In my opinion.
He's easily a top 5
He's in the top
QB.
5 for sure. There's no debate, in my opinion, anymore. He put up a 50-point game for you this year, a 40-point game. In the playoffs, the fantasy playoffs, he was also very good. You'll take 25 points from your QB. Only 6 in the game that was unfortunately postponed, but you don't know how he would have done. But I'm sure he would have done well in that game. It was fixing to be a shootout.
I don't even know what happens with that now. Like,
I don't know either.
Well, they came out. They said that they're not playing it this week. It's been postponed.
So is it just going to disregard like with fantasy?
I don't know what's going to happen with fantasy football.
I think that's it. It's done.
Look, unfortunately, fantasy doesn't really matter in that situation.
When it comes to this, it's not.
Hamlin's life is much more important.
Are they just going to completely cancel the game and then they just won't play that game this year?
I think they would have to because there is a lot of implications for like NFL playoffs and everything. But I think probably what they'll do is they'll wait. They'll wait till like the regular season is over and they'll make that like the last game before playoffs and do it like something like that. Because you can't. I don't know if there's a way you can reschedule it. No, you can't because there's still another week left, and Buffalo won't. Buffalo has to play. Will probably play their game next week. So then, it would probably have to be either the week after or they do a quick little thing where it's instead of that little cutoff week, you just have the Bills play Thursday night, and then you just do the wild card weekend that day, or the Saturday and Sunday, like they normally do. You just have one last Thursday night football game.
It's so fucking confusing.
Well, they'll have to figure it out, but there's, like we've said, there's way more important things at stake right now than that game. But I'm sure that they will get it figured out. Tim was really right about DeAndre Hopkins. At least until Kyler Murray went down.
Good old reliable, dude. That's all he is. He's just good old reliable.
Like I had to hold on. That was the only.
That was the thing, and I did get good trade offers. Well, I shouldn't say good trade offers, but they were like okay trade offers for what I can get for a guy that hasn't played at all this year. But like Brandon and Nick were both like, blah, 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 blah. I was like, yeah, I'll do that trade. And then they were like, but I want Hopkins. No, there's no shot. I held on to him. It was week 4. I held on to him this long. I'm not going to trade him away for nothing. And I'm glad I didn't because he turned out to be what I hoped he was going to be until Kyler Murray went down.
Which is unfortunate. But he was honestly himself.
Yeah.
Until Kyler Murray went down.
He was, I think he was ranked top 5 of fantasy wide receivers until Murray went down, since he came back. And then once Murray went down, that was it. It was over.
And it's like, it's a shame because DeAndre Hopkins has shown he can get it done with almost anybody. But look, sometimes like Trace McSorley is really bad.
Yeah, sometimes the quarterback is that bad.
Yeah,
yeah, it's just.
You know who wasn't bad was fucking. I mean, he came out of nowhere. Geno Smith. Like, what the fuck? Nobody.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
Like,
Jets.
Nobody. Yeah, the Jets.
That's literally what it is. The Jets
Jets
fooled us. They bamboozled us and made us think he was a terrible quarterback.
Tom Brady was actually very mid this year.
I think I remember being high on him this year.
Yeah. I kind of liked him too because he was getting drafted so late, and I was like, oh, why is he getting drafted late?
He did finish as the QB 11,
but
that's kind of inflated though.
Yeah, like when you're watching him and you played him week to week, it was like,
yeah, that is
oh
true.
Man,
10, 9, 14,
Brady
28,
just had
23, 13, 11.
Brady just had he went off in championship week. Like what a fitting player to help lead you to a fantasy championship.
Most championship teams didn't have him.
But
51.
Yeah, you probably didn't have him more than likely.
You know what the fucked up thing is? I mean, even though I won, I thank God I won, because if this was the case, I would have lost my mind. So Tom Brady got me to the championship with his 11-point performance against the fucking Cardinals. I'm thinking he's cooked. He's cooked. So I dropped him for Mike White. Mike White drops 3 fucking points. Drops 3 points.
If you would have lost, I know you would have been sick.
And Brady was on the waiver wire with 51 points.
That is with bonuses. In the Dynasty League, he had 37.
But
it's still ridiculous.
He went the fuck off.
But
I would have had 200 points instead of 160.
But that's what I'm saying about how the QB 11's a little inflated. He was so mid, very mid.
I had a 51 bomb.
Yeah.
So you were only happy if you managed to start him just in championship week. That's pretty much it.
I did in Dynasty because my QB situation is a little shaky, but he got it done. Tom Brady.
Only if
Flashback to
your
New
QB
England. Brady.
Do you know how pissed I'm gonna be if these motherfuckers go on a tear? He goes back to the Super Bowl.
The Bucs?
Brady?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Come on.
You can't say come on, dude. It's Tom Brady.
No, but the Bucs are just so bad this year. It's one thing if they were 10-7, 11-6, and you're like, oh, they're kind of on the down. They were 6-8 at one point.
Dude, Rodgers beat the best team in the NFL in a Super Bowl, and he was a wild card when they won the Super Bowl.
I don't know.
Anything can happen, dude.
I just don't see it with them, but they probably will, I guess. Which would annoy me if a wild card team, because I'm hoping we're the 1 seed. So if we're the 1 seed and they make it through us,
I'm telling you right now, it doesn't even matter. Dallas is getting bounced by either him or Dallas is getting bounced by either Brady or Rodgers. It's one of the two. Well, Rodgers is literally Dak's daddy, so he just can't beat him for anything. They just can't.
That's true. Well, I know if they play Dallas, they're going to beat Dallas if Green Bay makes it in there.
No, Green Bay's going to make it
watch
they wouldn't play. They would play the 2 seed. They would probably play the Vikings. No, they would play the Niners.
Green Bay?
Niners own Green Bay.
The Buccaneers are the last seed, right? They're the 7th seed. They're the last wild card in the NFC.
No, they're 4th. They won their division. The last seed is Seattle right now. If Rodgers and if the Packers win, then they'll make it in.
Green Bay is going to sneak in.
They're playing the Lions at home in prime time to go into the playoffs.
Couldn't write it any better.
You can't write that any better.
The script writers had a field day with that one.
Detroit wins 49-3.
Yeah.
Detroit can still make it if they win, can't they? But they need Seattle to lose.
I don't know.
I think so.
I
think they need Seattle to lose and they need to beat Green Bay, and Detroit sneaks in somehow. Because I know they said they showed the Sunday, they showed the rankings and everything and like all the scenarios of everything, but I can't remember the exact scenario that they needed to make it in, but they could still make it. Because Minnesota clinched. If Green Bay wins, no matter what, that division's done. It's locked. Every spot that can be taken is taken. But I'm pretty sure Seattle, Jesus Christ, I'm pretty sure Seattle can still make it somehow.
Seattle.
Because the Niners have it locked. They won their division. The Bucs won their division. I don't know. Unless I'm dumb and Seattle's just not. We'll see.
We'll fucking see.
We'll figure it out.
They'll figure it out for us.
Speaking of the Vikings and the NFC North, I really, really loved Dalvin Cook this year. And to be honest,
I did too.
He had his good games, but I think for the most part, he was pretty disappointing.
Like, a lot of the time, you had to close your eyes when you were watching him because it was pretty rough. But, like, sometimes he would rip off a big run or just get a touchdown, and he would save the day.
Yeah.
Like, he was solid this year, but, like, as you're watching him and you're an owner, you're a Dalvin Cook owner, it's like,
He didn't get a lot of balls thrown to him this year.
Yeah, and that was the fucked up thing.
We really thought that was going to happen.
Yeah.
We
thought his targets were going to increase and everything.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't think any of us saw Justin Jefferson having over 100 targets by, like, week 9.
I mean, I don't know about you, but
I could see that.
I had Justin Jefferson finishing as the wide receiver 1 on my list. I'm glad that I was right, but
I wanted Justin Jefferson in the first round since last year.
Like, dude, it was like Jefferson going in order. It was 11 targets, 12, 6, 13, 13, 8, 8. And then Kirk Cousins said, nah, fuck it. 13, 16, 11, 11, 15, 16, 16. Like,
we got to get this guy the ball.
That's like Madden. Like,
I mean, that's what you're give the ball to your best players.
Justin Jefferson did let you down championship week. The Packers kind of just gave everything to shut him down.
Jared Alexander is him. So
yeah,
as is Sauce Gardner. Like
they were doubling him a lot too. Like they were doing. You could tell that they wanted to shut him down, which is fair.
Yeah,
like it's fair to want to do that, but I think this guy's about to go on like an Antonio Brown like tear. Kind of like him and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Cooper
Kupp, actually, if you look at it, he still averaged more points
than
Jefferson did. Not by a lot. It was by like 0.3, I think. But Cooper Kupp still was like the highest average-wise for wide receivers.
Well, yeah, because it was like 30, 30, 30, 30, 30.
And then like, done for the year.
Then done. Which sucked.
That sucked. So I'm still high on Cooper Kupp. Nothing's changing. He was the number 2 receiver this year before getting hurt. So, like, I'm not even.
Fine.
He'll be fine.
I really think he'll be fine.
Just some bad luck. So, I think that's it in terms of players that we were talking about, gentlemen. We had a very interesting season, to say the least.
Very interesting.
Very interesting season. But I'm a champion, and I'm happy about that. So is Mark, I'm sure.
I'm glad that I won a dynasty.
And maybe
I'm glad
next
I won
year.
Something. Maybe.
But this podcast was fun. I'm glad. I want to thank all the listeners out there, whoever was listening. Thank you for staying with us throughout the season. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we had fun doing it.
We had fun doing this.
Yeah.
This is a fun, fun little shindig we got going, just to see where it goes.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Right?
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
But we will catch you all next season, in the off season, for the 2023 fantasy season, and that's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
The end of season 1.
We'll see you guys after the draft.
We'll catch you. Peace out.
Peace.